Hi guys. So we're doing this in a slightly different setup this time. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. Today's math review lesson is going to be on plotting points on a coordinate plane. Okay, so first off, a coordinate plane is the x-axis and the y-axis on a graph. So that's the numbers. It crosses like that. We have two types going on. Sorry, I'm trying to get a color. We have the one that we used to use all the time when we were younger, which looks like this. Okay. So the one that we used to use looked like this all the time. It was all positive numbers. We had a 0 down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here. This is called a one quadrant graph, or the positive quadrant graph. Let me put smaller text. This is the x-axis, always. And this up here, the line going down, is the y-axis. Okay, so this is the y-axis. Actually, you know what? Let me move that. I move that up there. Right, there we go. So the y-axis and the x-axis. These axes, they go on for forever. So it always starts at 0 in the middle, but it can go on up to whatever number you need it to be at. It won't always go by ones either. Sometimes it'll go by 5s or 10s or hundreds or something like that. It won't make any difference whatsoever. Now, the other coordinate plane that we ended up with slightly later looks like this. Does that one look more familiar? This is a 1, 2, 3, 4 coordinate plane. So we have four quadrant plane. Sorry, we have 4 quadrants going on. Still have the y-axis up here. Still have the x-axis over here. Y-axis up here, x-axis over here. Still have the 0 in the middle. That right there is called the origin. And I'm going to switch the size of my text and go over here. Put in origin is the center point of the graph. Or alternatively, where the lines, where the axis lines cross. That is our origin. It is also the number 0. Let me put that in there. Select this text. 0. Okay, is also the 0. That's where the 0 is. Now, when we go up, it is positive. When we go over to the right, it is positive. When we go over to the left, it is negative, and when we go down, it is negative. So we have our positive numbers and our negative numbers going on. Another thing that we have to take into account is our ordered pair. So the ordered pair is the x and y values for a point. We show it as x comma y. It is always x comma y. Every single time it is x comma y. I'm thinking that we should probably put in what the quadrants are for everything, simply so that you have the quadrants. This is quadrant 1. Quadrant 1. And I think I am going to change the size of this again. That is quadrant 1. This over here is quadrant 2, if I'm not very much mistaken. Just a sec, let me go check. All right, I was correct. This is quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2. This is quadrant 3. And this is quadrant 4. Okay, there you go. Those are the 4 quadrants that we have. So over here, both the x and the y are positive numbers. Here, the x is a negative, the y is positive. Here, both the x and the y are negative numbers. And here, the x is positive, but the y is negative. Okay, so that's our 4 quadrants. Now, let's try graphing some of these onto an actual graph. So you can see over here, I have graph paper. This is only for the first quadrant. It is only for quadrant number 1, where all the values are even. So if I sit here, and let's see, in green, shall we? I give myself the coordinates of 5, 6. I don't have to think very hard. I know that 5, 6 means the x is 5 and the y is 6. So I'm going to do star stamps. I go down here to the x first, always to the x first. I go over to where I see a 5. Then I go up to where I see a 6, and I put a stamp. Really? You're not going to let me change the color of the stamps? Well, that's no fun. Okay, any event. So I have 1 there. That is 5, 6. Okay? Doesn't show up very well, does it? No. That's 0.56. Then I'm going to do another one. Let's do this one be 715. Okay, so 715. Let me get my stamp again. I come over here to the 7 on the x. I go up to the 15 on the y, and I see where the 7 on the x and the 15 on the y overlap. And I put a star there. I put a point there. And then I can write in that our number there is 715. Okay, so that's our number point there. If they just give me, I'm going to put a heart in. If they just give me a point, if they give me this point, okay, this particular point right here, that particular point right there, I look and I see, oh, the x is a 14. Then I look across and I go, oh, the y is a 10. That works perfectly fine. So my point is, where the heart is 14, 10. This is how we do this entire thing. Now, let me go get out one that has all 4 quadrants, that isn't just this one set of quadrants. So you notice on this one how it doesn't go as far. The other one went all the way out to 20. This one only goes out to 10, actually, in each direction. The positive numbers the whole way out, positive, positive. So we know that this is quadrant number 1, because positive, positive. Maybe I should rethink my color there. Here, let me erase that and do it in a different color. I think the red would show up better. Red. So this is quadrant number 1. Okay. Over here is quadrant number 2. Down here is quadrant number 3. And over here is quadrant number 4. So I have my 4 quadrants. Okay. Positive, positive in quadrant number 1, negative, positive in quadrant number 2, negative, negative in quadrant number 3, and positive, negative in quadrant number 4. Let me erase those, and then we can do some examples. All right. So if I have, that's going to end up being way too large. If I have, let's say, negative 6, 5. Negative 6, 5. Let me see where I can fit that in. I'm going to do my star as a stamp again. First number is an x. First number is always the x. So I go along here and I go, okay, so that is a negative 6. Where is negative 6? Oh, right there. That's the negative 6. Second number is a positive 5. See, positive 5. Second number is always a y. So there's my 5. I figure out where the two of them meet. Negative 6 runs into 5 right here. And so that is my point. Negative 6, 5. Okay? If I have, instead of that, I have point negative 2, negative 3. Let's say that I have point negative 2, negative 3. So I come down here. I go to negative 2 on the x's, negative 3 on the y's, and I end up right there. And that is point negative 2, negative 3. Okay? Then I can come down, I can give us one more of them. Let's go with a 5, negative 8. So I'm going to come down here, go over the 5 for the x, down to negative 8 for the y, and put my star there, which gives me a 5, negative 8 for a point. Are you with me? And then if I start putting in my own points, like right there, I look at that and I go, oh, so that is the x is at negative 8, the y is at negative 5, and so I have a negative 8, negative 5, as that is what I call that particular heart is at negative 8, negative 5. Okay, that's really all that there is to graphing the points or figuring out which point it is. Sometimes they will give you weird numbers. So if it doesn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 like here, but instead it goes 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, you know that halfway in between that is the other number, if it counts by 2s. If it counts by 5s, you know that all the numbers in between that 5, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, those are all between the 0 and the 5. Okay, and then your job becomes figuring out where to put it in that particular set. All right, so I will talk to you guys later. There are some worksheet options at the bottom that you can try for yourself to see if you can do them. Bye.